Hello and welcome to Shannon Gardens. Thank you guys so much for being here. Today we're going to be planting flower seeds in a raised garden bed. I've decided that this was a great day to do it. About a week ago we had unseasonably hot weather and it was about 90 or 92 degrees, and that was a little too hot for the soil and to plant the seeds at that time. And then right after that we've had rain the last several days and downpours, so I didn't want them to float away. And I thought that today is the first day of clearing. It's cooler the next few days. We're probably in the 70s or low 80s. And so it'll be a lot easier to keep those seedlings moist without keeping them wet and without them drying out, or too wet and drying out. So I've got plenty of seeds. I went overboard as usual when I buy my seeds, and so I've got more than enough, but I'm gonna put them all in there and just see what takes and what doesn't. So I thought I'd show you guys. I've got a few different things. First, I was gifted some seed pops from a friend of mine for my birthday, and I have seen these before but have never planted them, so I'm really excited about that. This one is a bumblebee seed pop, you can see right here, and then I've got a hummingbird seed pop and a butterfly seed pop. So what it says is that you just put these about 2/3 of the way in your soil and leave it. And the cool thing is that the stick here is the marker. So that's really neat too. And that way we'll be able to see what comes up from it. I also have some milkweed, morning glories, rutabaga, I think is how that's said, coreopsis, sunflowers, my favorite, which I may already have some in there because the bird feeder is close by and it's inevitable that the birds drop sunflower seeds everywhere. So I always have random sunflowers coming up, but I bought some more just in case. And then this says early blooming beekeeper's mix. So these are pollinator flowers. So with that being said, let's get to it. I'm very excited to get these in the soil. Okay, so this is my raised garden bed, and what I'm going to do, I prefer to have more of a cottagey looking space. I feel like a lot of my gardening and gardens around the yard are more planned, and I really like to have a space where I just kind of let it do what it wants. So with that being said, I just put the seeds in. I don't plan them out. If you want more of a planned garden, then you can certainly space them out and follow the instructions on the seed packets, but that's not how I do it. I just spread them out and I see what takes, and if it gets too crowded, I may pull some things and put them in pots and go from there. So I am going to first just loosen up this soil a little bit with my hands. This is brand new soil that we put in actually before all the rain, so it is nice and damp already. So I really just need to loosen it up and kind of smooth it out. And then I will put my seeds in. Okay, now for the sunflowers, because they're gonna get a little taller, I do think I'm gonna place these more in the back as the backdrop, and then all the other flowers are gonna be shorter than these. So I want to at least provide that definition of the space. So this is the only one that I am planning a little bit, with the exception of the pops, I guess. So I'll open these up. Oh wow, that's a lot more sunflower seeds than I thought. And I'm just going to sprinkle them in the back couple of inches. I may move it up a little bit more because there's so many seeds. And I actually think I might put the last few, because they provided so many, I may put the last few in a pot and see if I can grow these in a pot. So I'll put those back in my little envelope here. And then last but not least are my pops. So it said 2/3 of the way down, and it said to water twice weekly. Now I'll be watering more than that because I know that it is going to get warmer again next week, and I need to get these seedlings or the seeds to take off. So I want to keep those damp and not overly wet and definitely not dry. So there's I'm gonna have to check them every day and make sure that they are feeling damp. So these will be getting more water. However, once the seeds take off, I will be able to water more deeply. As I'm watering the next couple of weeks, it will be a little bit more of a surface watering. And I think I'm gonna do these maybe right in the middle there. Not sure if that's 2/3 of the way. Maybe I should go a little deeper here. There we go. Okay, there's one. And like I said, you may want to do yours a little differently. If you prefer a more planned garden, then you can certainly do it that way. This is just my unplanned area. I have a couple that are like that, but really, for the most part, my areas are more laid out. And I like that this one just feels a little bit more cottagey, like a cottage garden. And I like the fact that it's several different flowers that I can cut and put into vases inside my home. I think that's about right. All right. Okay, so we put those in the middle there. We'll see how they do. And then lastly, I suppose I should have worn these gloves when I was digging in there, but I'm going to dirty up the inside of my gloves, and I'm going to sprinkle the top. I'm not putting a lot of soil. I do want the sun to reach these seeds, and so I do not want to bury them because I am starting from seed. I don't want to bury them too much, but I just want to sprinkle it lightly over the top here. And the soil that we put in underneath actually does not have fertilizer in it, so I'll be adding a little bit of fertilizer as well. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Now I have no doubt that the birds and chipmunks are going to come in here and eat a lot of these seeds. So I guess that's another good reason for planting or overplanting, because I will lose a lot of seed in the process, but that's okay. I love the chipmunks and birds, so I do not mind. Oops, just a little bit more. Okay, I think that that's good. Put a little bit behind there, just kind of lightly pat it down. All right. And now I'm off to go get the hose, and that will be that. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit of fertilizer. There we go. And then I'm just going to lightly wet the soil. I think I'll start with the mist. But actually that works out well. That way it won't get too wet, and I know that the soil underneath is wet from the rain. So I'm really just looking to wet the soil that I just put on top without oversaturating it. I think that takes care of that. Just put my finger in and see. That definitely feels good. It's not pooling, but at the same time, it's just the right amount of saturation. And I think we're done. Now, we'll just continue watering, checking the soil every day, making sure that it's damp. And before you know it, we'll be able to start seeing the seedlings, and we will have flowers in no time. I thought I would share a quick update on the progression of the flowers on the hill, and particularly the roses and what stage they're at now. So as you can see, the spreading roses are still in full bloom. They look and smell beautiful. And then I have my climbing roses at the top, which have a few blooms left, but they are starting to fade out on that trellis. And their bloom time is almost done here. In the fall, they'll start to bloom a little bit more, but they are fading out right now. I've got some roses on the other side of this hill that are just about to start to bloom, and I'll show you guys that as the blooms come and they open up. But this is how it looks currently. I also have 3 knockout rose bushes here, and they bloomed prolifically, I'd say about a couple of weeks ago, and I cut them back and deadheaded them, and now, as you can see, there are a lot of different buds here popping up, and so they're going to start blooming again here very soon, probably within the next week. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will show you as everything progresses and the length of time that it takes from planting the seed until bloom time, what takes off and what doesn't do so well. And I will see you guys soon. Until next time, bye.